I want to welcome you to Mindset Minutes. For those of you that have joined, today we're going to learn a little bit more about how we can empower and maybe become more aware of some of the areas that we might be enabling. I know when I really sat down and, thought about this, there are still areas in my life where I have been an enabler. And I'll tell you, being an enabler can be very exhausting. So I hope to give you some really great tips today. And these tips are going to be around empowering. And I want you just to think for a moment, isn't that what leaders do? Aren't we in the people development business, right? So as a leader, and if you've got one person on your team, you're a leader. For those of you maybe that aren't in a team or you're just joining in and you're a mom, you're a leader. If you're a dad, you're a leader, right? We all have roles where we're leading. And I don't know how many of you ever stop and pause to think about, how am I doing leading the people that are with me, my people? How am I doing? So before we dig into that training, I would love to draw and ignite the light card. I'm really excited too, because I've got another shipment of cards coming. Finally got some, what would be the word? A little bit more clarity around shipping. We had some shipping issues. Oh, I don't know if anybody's aware of that. Ha, ha, ha. But all right, look at this card. I love this. Choose to be happy. Choose to be happy. Boy, I can remember many days where I just allowed my feelings to dictate the whole day. It's kind of like, yeah, that's making me irritated, or not looking for the good, just saying, when this happens, I'll be happy. And I read a book one time on happiness, and happiness being a choice. And I think I was a little bit like, really, it is. Understanding more about how we choose the way we think, and the way we think comes out in the way we feel. And we have power over that. We have the power of choice to choose our every single thought. So let me read this. Today, I will choose happiness. I will remind myself each day I get to choose. I know that my life's greatest joys are found deep within my heart. I will take the steps to engage in the things that make me feel happy. I will choose to be with the people that light me up. Flip the switch from feeling as though you have no choice to filling your heart with happiness. Listen to your heart, filling your heart with happiness. All right, well, gosh, let's dig in to our training today. And like I mentioned, in your role as a leader, I want you to pause for a moment and think about, are you enabling people? Meaning, are you one of those kind of gals or guys that does it for them? My brother's probably going to kill me, but I'm just going to say this. We used to make a joke because obviously he was younger than me. Well, not obviously. I'm letting you know he was younger than me by a few years, only a few years. And my mom did a lot more for him than she did for me. And what I mean by that is we kind of babied him a little bit. And he was the little boy and he was more quiet than I was. And so he got a little more attention in some cases. In my mom would tie his shoes in the morning. And the joke was, in our family, Brian got his shoes tied. Geez, get your words right. Brian had his shoes tied by my mom till he was in the 6th grade. Now, that's not true at all, but she did tie his shoes for probably longer than she needed to. And there came a point when he probably didn't know really how to tie his shoes. And it was of the age like 3, 4, 5. I don't know how old it is, maybe kindergarten, when you learn to tie your shoes by yourself. And that would be enabling, meaning when we do things like that, we're taking the opportunity away from others to learn and grow. So I want you just to think about that. Maybe it's with your children. Do you enable them? Do you let them off the hook? Maybe it's with your team members. Are your team members calling you for a Zoom link? Are you sending them all the tools, but not empowering them to go get the tools? I know that as an enabler, that you will spend a lot of time, effort, and energy giving it away on the people that you actually are enabling. And you're not doing that person or people any favors because it keeps them weak. It keeps them held back from becoming who they're meant to be. So let's look at just some of the different characteristics of being in empowerment. So when you're empowering people, you're giving them the opportunity to take on the challenge and build on responsibility. When you're empowering people, you're allowing them the opportunity to nurture their skills. When you're empowering people, you're also able to give them honest feedback. Have you ever felt at times where I don't want to hurt their feelings, but by not being honest, you may be enabling them to continue doing something that's not serving them. When you empower people, you let go of control and give them an opportunity to do it themselves. And I know for me, most of the things I teach are because I'm reinforcing the skill with myself every single time I teach it. And it reminds me of maybe what I really need to focus on. All right, let's look at enabling. Maybe right now you're taking a few notes and you can just self-evaluate. Where are you in these areas? So enabling, that's where you're doing things for people. You're taking on their responsibility. And well, as you take on their responsibility, you're taking it away from them. We kind of already mentioned that. The other thing is you allow people to benefit from your skill instead of developing their own. And I think that's a big one. Sometimes we have to just let go and let the person experience their own what I did well and what I need to improve on. Experience is the best teacher. You can read books all day long. You can look at what somebody's doing all day long. But if you don't go out and do it, you're never going to learn how to become better at doing the skill. The other thing when you're enabling is you're telling them what to do. You know, step 1, step 2, step 3, like me right now. Now, this is a training, but, you know, it might be like, let's say you were giving somebody, you know, some clear direction on something that they could probably figure out on their own. Really over the top hand holding. Some people need what I call partnership, but they don't need hand holding so tight that we forget to let go. All right, so I'm going to give you just a couple scenarios that may or may not come up for you. Let's say that your team members want to know, where's the Zoom link? Where's the video? Where's the this? So instead of saying, here, let me send it to you, how about saying in your voice clip or your text, go to here, you know, 4 down, you'll see it there. Now, next time you'll know right where to find it. kisses or whatever you say. You don't have to be mean about it. You're helping them. That's the thing that I will hope to get across here. You're helping them become better at being them. All right, here's another one. Let's say that somebody that you're working with was too busy to do their homework, and you still take on that coaching call, or you still partner with them when they haven't done their part. That's enabling. Sometimes what we have to do is say, all right, I hear you got busy and I know you had a lot of things going. I get it. I've been there too. When is the next time on your calendar? I'll look at mine that we can set the call and you'll be able to have those things done prior. So rescheduling a call, asking them what's right for them about getting this stuff done. Now, if I work with someone on an ongoing basis and typically they're not having a problem getting things to me or getting their work done or the action that they chose to take, I mean, come on, once in a while, I know people are busy. I'm going to give them something. But if I see that it becomes a habit, right? If somebody's always calling me for the Zoom link, no, I don't do that. And you shouldn't either, because you're going to end up in a resentment and getting a little bit ticked off. All right, here's another scenario. Let's say that a team member comes to you with a problem, or a family member. I know that often we want to just engage right into the advice, right? Well, here's what I do. How about asking a few questions before you offer a suggestion? Like, tell me a little bit more about that. How did that make you feel? What do you think that you're going to want to do about that? And then, and only then, after you've encouraged them to think for themselves, you could say, I've had an experience like that before. And here's a couple things that you can either take or throw away. Totally up to you. This kind of a response is going to keep the door opened. It's going to show them that you truly care about what they think, and you're helping them grow, not only as a person, but as a leader. All right, I'm going to give you one last scenario. And this one would be, let's talk about it for kids. Let's just go away from business for a minute. I know that many of you out there have kids, and I've seen a lot of different things over the years, and I also was parented by what I would say really good parents. When my parents said no, oh boy, they meant no. And even if they were wrong, they still stood to the word. They might even come back and say, you know what? I might have done it a little differently, but we're still moving forward with the restriction that you're on. So let me give you a scenario. Let's say that you have a rule in your house. Let's just take a rule. I don't know what it could be, but the rule is, okay, let's take a curfew. That's a good one, because this is true for me and my family. So my mom and Wayne, her husband, who is my other dad, had the rule that I had to be home at midnight. Now, a lot of other kids got to stay out till 1 or 2, but I had to be home at midnight. And my parents would look me in the eye and say, if you're a minute late, you got to pick up the phone and call. And if you don't, there's a consequence. So what they did was they told me the rule in a kind way, and it was very clear, firm, and respectful. But then I knew that if I wasn't home by midnight, or if I was a minute late without a call, there was consequences. And that happened once or twice. Go figure. And it landed me in, on restriction. So the question that you probably really want to know is, how many times did that happen? Maybe twice, because I didn't want to be on restriction. So think about age-appropriate consequences for your children. I mean, obviously, if they're 4 or 5, no. But I mean, that wouldn't work. That scenario wouldn't work. But let your no mean no, and let your yes mean yes. And sit down and talk to your children before it escalates to these levels. Now, I don't want to try and say I'm some expert on parenting, although I think I did a pretty good job and learned a lot along the way. But I do know that I was parented by really great parents. And there were a couple things that I just shared with you right now that I was able to pass on to my sons and daughters. I said sons, one son, daughters, that I see them doing today. So let's wrap up today. I'm just going to, again, remind you that enabling is something that is exhausting. You're going to be the one beating your head against the wall. Empowering is invigorating. It makes you want to partner with the person and want to support them. And it's all a choice, right? So if you're looking to continue to develop your own skills and help those around you develop theirs, be somebody that lets go of control and empowers people. Nobody fails. All we're doing here in this life game, gang, is practicing. I don't even think there's mistakes. We're just practicing, and we're tweaking and finding little different ways that work better. It's not about the A that you get in school or the B or how many you get wrong. I don't love that. I never did like that, and I don't even think it's a great way to grade. I think that people will keep working hard at being better, at being themselves, if they have tools and encouragement. And I'm here to encourage you. So have a great day, guys. Bye.